They're bow thrusters.
That'd be neat to have on a set of floats. Bow thrusters.
It would be really slick.
That'd be cool.
I bet you could make them with not
You could
much
probably do
weight.
a bit electric.
Oh shit! Yeah, you come on. It'd be just an add-on. Pay a couple of $100 extra, probably.
That's right. You know,
Couple hundred thousand.
I should offer that. You know, set up an LLC, sell a bunch of them, and then close the LLC before I get sued.
There you go.
Thinking like any good defense contractor would. It'd be awesome.
I'm telling you, you'd get some pre-sale deposits.
Right.
There'd be guys looking at that going like, shit, yeah, that'd be cool.
What company with? AEY. No problem.
Tower Cub
What does that
Crafters
mean?
November 9er 16 Sierra Tango ready for departure to the north at runway tree.
Yeah, bow thrusters. I mean, it's a good idea. I wonder if that'd be a great implementation.
Put
Or
yourself
just
off
give
the
us-
dock. That'd be
Or,
really...
Yeah.
or Beta Proper do it. That'd do nicely.
I can't remember the name of the company, but they made a reverse prop for the Beaver and the 206, I believe it was, the piston airplanes. I saw a video of that and was just like, whoa, that would be so cool.
There's a guy landed over in Sweden, came up on the amphibs, and actually backed himself into his own hangar.
Yeah, that would be sweet. There were a lot of situations where I would have loved to have reverse thrust on the 206.
Everybody back?
Good to go.
Cool. Alright. Let's go. Get going there.
Cub Crafter 6 Sierra Tango, continue for north departure. I will contact you next when you leave my airspace.
Laughing is that I heard the wheel turbines. I was bounced a little and cracked. Yeah. Wonder if there's a different sound effect you can add for that.
I'd like to be able to get the sound of the wake and everything as you're
Slosh,
taking
yeah.
off. I was able to get the gear sound working, but I think in order to do kind of the float plane sound, I have to figure out that Wise software, which is a whole other.
Well, it's like I think I was impressed that all I heard was the strut compression on the landing. That was good. I didn't hear a chirp, so that was good. But when I was porpoising a little on takeoff there, I got a chirp. It was interesting. I'm running in my beta test mode to report back to you.
All good.
Can you actually change how the aircraft handles on the water and everything specifically, or are you sort of bound by the physics that they've made in the?
The water, not a whole lot. There's a little bit you can do with the float points to kind of lessen the bounce or increase the bounce, but there's nothing you can do about getting it up on step or anything like that. It's
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was kind of leading towards, wondering.
Yeah, but I think this thing is just so, like I was talking to you yesterday, Carbon, about that, like, you know, trying to get it to go through the plow onto the step and like adjust the friction in the water. I don't know if that's even capable at this point for you.
I don't think so.
No. Because really, she doesn't come up out of the water as quick. It doesn't matter if you got 215 horsepower on her. She's not coming off that quick, right?
Yeah, so getting it up on the step is the hydroplaning.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so you go through the plow, and then you got to get her up on the step, right? Get her up on that sweet spot,
Yeah.
and that's really only when you start to gain speed, right? So.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is that I've read a couple of articles. One guy says specifically, he said he was really surprised. He barely got up on step before it was airborne, so it happened really fast.
Oh, the carbon cubs on the Aeroset floats. Yeah, I've seen it, and yeah, they're quick, but they're not this quick, but they're quick.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if I should. I don't know. I could turn down the prop efficiency, so I could make it take a longer run, but it would also mean that on land it would also take a longer run, which might not be a bad thing because it is a little bit heavier.
So what do you got the gross weight increase to now? On the float variant, do you have an increase on gross weight?
Empty is 1420 now, so that accounts for taking off the main gear, the tail gear, and then adding the floats on plus a little bit for the retraction and all that sort of stuff. So right around 1420, and then the max gross is 2300 still. So
we'll have the option to add the ferry tank or on the in the files editing. Big.
Oh, on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably could. Yeah, I mean, you could always edit it into the floats, I suppose. You could put tanks in there.
Well, I was just thinking about the tank that goes in the lead, the back.
Oh, the back. Oh, yeah. You could you can add that at
the
at
ferry
any
tank.
point. Yeah.
The ferry tank.
Yeah. There's
the bladder.
Yeah, and the standard XCub, or in
your original XCub mod, you had that.
Yeah. If you still have that mod, then there is a line in there that in the flightmodel.config file, and it'll say use this line if you want the ferry tank sort of thing. So
you can add that into anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can copy it to any other.
Yeah, you could. Well,
I mean, you could copy it into the float.
Any other XCub you could for sure. You'd have to change like the CG points if you were to put it in a different aircraft, but it's cool.
Well, it'll work. It just wouldn't be balanced correctly.
Yeah. I was reading up a lot on ferry pilots, and I was just amazed at that crazy life.
Mm-hmm. Just take your balls, put them in your hand, and hold on to them for 12 hours.
Looking at
bottles
holy crap! Well, there's also a really good YouTube on. They were ferrying a DC-3 for the 75th D-Day celebrations, and a good vlogger did that one. He actually got his the co-chair or co-captain certification to help them do it. And it was really cool. But it was the things you got to start to understand about icing. It's just amazing to me. That what they fly through. And the DC-3 was, much more prepared for it than say like a Cessna 172 or something else.
Yeah, anything without de-icing capabilities, you really have to be careful.
Well, it's like all this low-flying stuff to get under storms and stuff, and learning how to fly with some ice, because it's unavoidable. That's when I realized you'd never do this in the winter.
No. Really bad idea.
Yeah, I've landed at 172 with a completely iced over windshield except for about a hole the size of a tennis ball. Wasn't
fun.
Not recommended.
I wouldn't recommend that at all.
I'm pretty sure the FAA doesn't either.
Well, it's one of those days where the customer was like, I really need to get home, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll give it a shot. And about 10 miles away from the airport, the windshield and wings started completely icing up. And I'm like, well, I'm only 200 feet above the ground and I'm not going any lower, so we're going.
Yeah. I gotta get rid of some weight. Jump out.
Here's a parachute. Have a nice day.
I'm doing
They're waving your arms really fast.
We'll refund your money. Don't worry.
That's right.
Are we landing up here around the corner at this?
Yeah.
What is it called?
Yep. A Fognak.
Actually, looks looks like a tiny pond there, just to the north of that point. I want to see if I can land there.
Well, you have to come in that side to actually get to the water landing.
The pond in the middle of these mountains here that we're passing.
Round this corner, round this headland.
Oh. Well, it's flying at it, right?
Yeah, I've got about 2 miles to run. It's just around this corner.
I think we're in Alaska or something, how low the sun is.
Oh, Lost Juice is going down for a look. In this first pond, anyway.
Yeah, for the tired people, there's a runway on the right-hand side of this, quite short. But ideally, you want to land in the pond beyond this little ridge.
Oh, this isn't one of the landing challenges, isn't it? It is. The actual airport.
Oh, it's the pond by Papa Zulu 02?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, the Greek Canadians got the right idea. Land and go long, and then come back.
Yeah, that's what being an actual flow pilot does. Wait, I'm not seeing anybody's names. Is that that must be a...
You can turn your tags on flight. I think a lot of us are using a mod that lets us cycle them on and off.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Carbon, do you know where I can find that mod in the Discord?
I think it's on the GitHub. You guys remember the names?
So
UI mod?
Yeah, UI mods by Mugsy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Where are we landing now? Are y'all already landed?
Yeah, we're all landed, but
Fortunately, could have hooked through there. So we've got a parking area at the back. Goes out to the grass strip. Yeah.
Where are we landing? Where's the stopping point at?
I think it's just the pond up here, eh?
Yeah, just stay to the left. You got plenty of room.
it's a long finger on that lake.
I tell you what, this the XCub drifts really nicely on the floats. Put the power in, it spins really well.
Yeah, it snaps right around, eh?
Oh, you mean like Tokyo Drift?
Oh yeah, Tokyo Drift.
I get ya.
Ground looks like a mother. Take a look at the wind direction we're coming.
Yeah.
I guess
Land
I guess
whatever
it's-
way I land is or the opposite way of the way I land is probably correct.
yeah. Since I'm not running live weather, it probably doesn't matter. switch over live just to see how
Hey, have fun.
beastly it gets. Yeah, it'd vein me right. That's a good way to find out which way the wind's coming from. You have no choice but to go that direction.
Yeah, that's me.
The next airport is it's actually a long shale track, but I would suggest you fly over it and land in the bay beyond it, or carry on flying to the next one.
Man, that sun is not going to stay up for long, is it?
Nope. I normally set my time here to about midday, and my months to July when I'm editing.
This is cool. I'm definitely using this flight plan again.
Interesting.
I'm not sure if I...
Went to go let the dogs out. Thought I lost you. I found you.
Whoa.
Just look for the big blob of white stuff. Follow that.
So what time of year do you typically get your float plane out? Are you able to get it out as early as the spring, or do you have to wait until early summer?
We're usually on floats on the water here. We're usually in the water by mid-April.
Oh, nice.
You know, mid-April to mid-November, and then of course on amphibs whenever. But
Right.
I don't have my new amphib yet. So my old plane is a 172 straight floats. So I've been only flying straight floats for the past 5 years.
Where's your new one sitting right now? Is it
So outside Montreal, it's in a avionics shop getting some new Garmin stuff put in.
nice?
I'm also doing my instrument rating now to so the pilot skill will match the aircraft.
Very good.
172 on straight floats was pretty good to learn on. That's what I learned.
Yep, I had a 172. I had she was a great plane actually. She had 0360 in her, and she was on whip straights and had she was a 1964 model, so she had the manual flaps.
Yeah, that's what this one had that I learned on. It had manual flaps and it had like a pull ring to start the engine. I was like, what the hell? I never seen that before.
Like a lawnmower sort of pull ring.
I did my float rating on a Cessna 170. It was a Charlie Fox Tango uniform November. It was bright orange.
Nice.
Yeah, I only ended up doing about 15 hours on it, but it was something that was really fun. I've never done.
Float flying is great, man.
Really ultimate freedom. And now that you're getting amphibs, I mean, you're just one-upping it.
Yeah, you just do. Swiss Army knife plane, man.
It's great.
Not the fastest thing, but you'll get everywhere you need to go.
That's right. You gotta enjoy the flight. You get there fast.
Oh no, I'm not. Not about fast. Too much stuff goes by you when you fly fast. You guys would all agree, or else you wouldn't be in this group. You'd be flying citation group or something.
Yeah. Float flying is that's what I love as well. All my experiences like in the bush up in northern Canada, but I started flying floats like 2 summers ago, and I don't want to fly anything else.
A good idea. I ended up going to an airline, and I always kind of regretted it. Not that it wasn't good, because I worked for a good company, but I really miss bush flying a lot.
Yeah, a lot of the guys that I've met that have more experience, but they come back and like fly in the bush every now and again. They're just like, "Oh, it's the most fun I've ever had flying for the airlines. It's so boring and blah blah."
I got a great story to tell you. I was one of my old flight instructors. I was in Toronto, catching a flight home, and I was having a coffee, and he walked through. He's now flying right seat on a 777, I think. But anyway, he introduced me to the captain, and the captain said, "So what do you fly?" I said, "I just fly a 172 on floats." And he was like, "Oh man!" And I was like, "What?" I said, "You're a captain on a 777." He's like, "There's nothing."
Yeah.
He said, "I'd trade with you any day."
Yep. That's so true.
Yeah.
I said, "I'll trade for a day with you, but I don't think Air Canada's going to let me sit in that left seat."
That'd be pretty. I wanted to see if I could figure out how to start the 787 from sitting on the ramp the other day, and I was like, huh.
Biggest aircraft I've even tried to start in this game was the CJ. And I managed to fire it up, but it was kind of like a movie. Wonder what this button does. Click. What's this?
Yeah,
thing?
exactly.
Click.
So
Yeah, I was looking at.
Not so bad in this game, but when I was flying Prepared 3D, I used to have this. I bought this King Air from Milviz out of Montreal that did it, and I could never. I was always hot starting the damn thing, right? Could never figure it out. Hot start. I said, "To hell with that! I'm going back to a piston."
Yeah, I think I was doing that in the TBM when I was trying to start that in this game. It's like hot starting all the time. I'm like, what the?
It's the opposite for me. I've got about a little over 200 hours in piston, and the rest is all turbine.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I've got like, I'm in the neighborhood of 10,000 total time, so I've got, the 9,000 some odd hours in turbine, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like
That's a
what
lot.
models? Like King Airs, 1900s. What are you flying?
I started on the Caravan, Grand Caravan.
Oh yeah.
Then PC-12, Beach 1900D.
Nice.
And then to the Q400.
Oh yeah, Q400. Excellent.
Caravans are pretty nice. They're super easy to fly.
Yeah.
Our provincial airlines here got they've started Q400s now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they've added 4 now to the fleet.
Machines, I like. The Caravan was easy to fly, but never forgiving for landings. You always had to work for them to try and make them nice. So it would bottom out in a hurry.
Yeah, you can't flare them very easily. You got to fly them onto the runway, don't you?
Yeah.
I never really found that. I've never really had much of an issue with landing them, but
They're good in the ice.
They can
though,
be-
aren't they? With all the options they have.
What was that?
the
sorry?
They're good in icy weather.
Yeah.
You know, they have all.
Yeah,
kind
they're
of
okay.
options.
True. I wouldn't call them good.
Well, I mean, they have all kind of de-icing options. You'd think
But the
they
newer
are.
ones do. Yeah, they're kind of retrofitted. The older ones are still. I've had some not so great days.
Yeah, the boot system is not great. If you add the TKS system, then yeah, you're laughing. But the boots are not.
Is
not
that the liquid and antifreeze stuff?
Yeah, it's like a glycol mixture that bleeds out of the leading edge of the wing and underneath the wind.
Okay, so it's like an alcohol stuff.
Yeah, it's like
antifreeze. Isn't that what basically antifreeze?
Bullet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I always thought that was neat. I didn't know how well. It just seemed like they had a lot of options. Are we hitting the water here, guys? Either that or I'm running over you. Coming in hot right behind you. Brakes don't seem to work real good. Dodging airplanes.
What was it? There's like a guy who was a bush pilot in Malaysia or something like that. He has a good YouTube channel where he films himself running around muddy fields with caravans.
Is that missionary pilot or something like that?
That's the one, yeah, missionary pilot.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. Some of the most ridiculous, like landing uphill on short field.
They're all
Mud flying everywhere. His GoPro's just getting slick.
That sounds horrible.
Well, carbon
Brakes.
What's that? A lot better?
A lot less spinny.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because I have to figure out this ground contact issue with the dirt. Be all set.
You get that mystery fixed when they figure out how you can fly under a bridge too.
Yeah, you know, the bridges thing is really weird because I was flying around in Kamloops in BC, and I was flying along the river, and I was flying underneath every bridge in that town, and then I went and tried to fly underneath some big bridge somewhere else, and I crashed. I'm just like, what the?
The biggest bridge you tried, yeah.
Bridges have controls. Yeah, it's been crazy when the impacts on. So that comes down to the black shark stuff, right? No. For the
all those autogen
bridges and such. So if it's a actually photogrammetic, it has a chance that you can fly under it, but if it's not, you're screwed.
Oh, okay, so if they've like modeled a special bridge, then you probably can't fly.
Yeah,
you can fly under it.
You're trying to apply logic. That's not gonna work.
Doesn't work control.
That's not gonna work.
You just have to pay the fee of a few goats and you can go under. Yeah, like I noticed when they redid the Grand Canyon, some of the bridges are like you can actually fly under them all.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll have to go to the Grand Canyon. I haven't been there.
Yeah, that's just fun to take a XCub.
Well, I was there before
TBM and flat.
Before the U.S. upgrade. And I won't say I was disappointed, but I wasn't overly enthused.
It looked like it had been rubbed with ham.
Yeah. It wasn't much better than FSX. Let's put it that way. The actual hillsides weren't any better. It just
ham rubbed terrain. It was. I mean, looks great at as I said, this game looks smoking at 2,500 feet, but below that it's just gonna break up on you. But so much better than anything else that's ever existed.
I tell everybody, it's designed for VFR flight. It is perfect for it. It's better than anything we've ever had before. They just got to fix a few things. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's times in the
world. Just a couple.
Well, I haven't seen spires for a while. They must have fixed something there. Like, I haven't seen a lot of spires.
Well, that's not even supposed to happen till this update, the 16th now.
Okay. I just haven't seen a lot recently.
25,000 foot lake in Africa we flew past the other day.
Yeah, we saw a couple of them. Yeah.
A little bit of a reservoir.
Well, there's a lake, yeah. They got the elevation wrong.
It was just floating there. That's funny.
No, a piece of terrain went straight up 30,000 feet. The lake at the top of it. It was right where it was supposed to be.
That's real world.
No, that's Wakanda.
Imagine the water pressure you could get if you use it as a header tank.
Yeah, there you go.
You can flush toilets and never have clogged.
Blow the
No
lid
matter-
off of it.
No matter how hard you try, you can't plug them. That roommate I had that challenged it all the time, you never had it.
One thing I got to get used to, though, from coming from a Cessna, is switching the tanks every once in a while.
That's why I do like that auxiliary tank.
I wonder why they opted to do that in the XCub, because I know the FX and the EX had the ability to feed off both tanks at the same time. But for whatever reason, this one decided to want to
More mechanically simple and less weight.
That's why they charge you $350 US for them. Which, by the way, is a disgusting price for this aircraft.
Oh, it's so overpriced. Yeah, it's very expensive.
I mean, it's a nice aircraft, but it's a Cub.
Whereas it doesn't fly much faster than the station wagon on the skies, the 172.
No, that's right.
You can't take as many people in it.
No. You can have a hell of a lot more fun, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, this is like the
It's like the ultimate fun plane.
it's the Maserati.
A sports car with wings.
Yeah, sports. Well, it's like a Carmageia. It looks like a sports car, just has a smaller engine. Bug underneath, but
And I tell you, they hold their price, though. In the used market, they still demand a good price, too.
well, how long have they been out? They're none are even more than like 10
my
years,
God,
right?
Not even 10 years, I don't think.
Yeah. So we'll see when they get to the 30-year point. Because what does a brand new Textron Cessna 172 cost now? That's got to be over $150,000, right?
Oh, yeah, no, they're about 325.
So that's
330 with a glass screen. They're probably 4 something.
That is probably not that different.
Any of you
That's
guys buy the Kit Fox on this from the market?
It's garbage.
I avoided that.
Yeah, I was wondering if that's why I was wondering if it was good.
I want to, but people's review of it caused me to say, nah, I'd love to have the airplane.
My favorite airplane I'd like to see come into this would be the Quest Kodiak. That'd be my favorite.
Yeah, Kodiak would be
I
cool.
love a Quest Kodiak.
But it's real similar to something we already have.
True.
PC6, please.
PC3 for me. Or a C-47. I'll do either.
I'd like a Beaver in it, too.
No.
Yeah, I'd love a Beaver. The Waco, the only reason I even thought about it's not the right kind of aircraft for me necessarily, but I thought about it just because it's a radial.
Boy, beyond a landing opportunity. Is this one of the places we were landing?
Who's landing on a house down?
Who's landing on a house?
Somebody's landing on a house. They just landed right next to a.
That'll be
Statewide.
SJ in the villages. Yeah.
See, that must be somebody new.
They just landed right on the front lawn of that house. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's the kind of crazy stuff when you find out your wife's
There's a-
cheating on you that you fly in like that.
There's a boat out here in the water.
Yeah. That was a shaky landing. Anybody wants some shrimp? This guy would probably sell us some real cheap.
The only way you get it fresh and not frozen.
I just got 3 for the price of 1, man. I had 3 nice landings. That was good. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
This is the most I've flown the floats, so I'm not doing so good.
I'm learning. So, who was the actual float pilot? You end up flying the aircraft in more than flaring it in?
You certainly don't go full idle like you would in a wheeled aircraft. You
don't chop and drop.
No, there's no chop and drop to it. What you're doing is all depends on the conditions, right? If you got glassy water, you're doing something completely different. If you got rough water, you're doing something different. It
all really depends on the conditions, like you said, what you want.
Glassy water is
it's scary.
Yes, glassy water is scary. It's not fun.
Yeah, one time I went and landed like 3 miles away on the other side of the lake where there was a little bit of ripple on the lake, and then got it up on step all the way over to their lodge because I didn't want to land in the glassy.
No. You lose complete depth perception. Complete. You have no idea how high you are.
It's like snow then.
Or how low you are.
Yeah. Using a tree line I found was really helpful if you could land on a shoreline just out of your peripheral vision. That was about the only way to kind of help with it, but even then.
Believe it or not, I know a couple of old guys around the lake where I'm to. There's a couple of guys, they actually carry a few rocks in the plane with them, and if it goes glassy, they'll just fly over and drop the rocks down in the water and create ripples.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Couple of grapefruit-sized rocks, you got it right.
There was me thinking about whether you can have a rad outfitted, but rocks are much cheaper.
Or I mean, if the person's sitting in the right seat next to you, you don't care so much about them. You just throw them out.
That guy in the gravel.
Back around a little. Yeah, I can see that. Keep splashing.
Rest in peace.
I think have we got everybody kind of collected here? I think we're good, eh?
Kev, did you add Jesus to this scenery? There's a bloke standing on the water.
Yeah, there's
that?
two.
Up by the pier.
It depends what scenery pack you install. Have you got all the scenery packs?
All the stuff you linked, yeah.
No, that's the special Jesus Christ Superstar add-on.
That's right. You'll see the whinish water around it.
Water's gone all red.
No, they're both on pontoons there.
Not for me, they weren't.
Yeah, there's a woman with a bag under the light, and there's a guy on the pontoon to the side.
She's like
paddle boarding.
Just near it, and he's way on the water.
Yeah, they're paddle boarding.
It's strange. It looks good to me.
Pretty nicely modeled fishing boat.
I think you're not seeing it because you don't believe hard enough, Kev.
See, Orbeck's got the boats out. See the Orbeck's?
Yeah, the channel
Channel or shoreline or whatever it's called.
It's a shoreline for the Channel Islands. There's those boats in there, actually.
They'll probably have that. They've got one item Orbeck's does in the market for free, so I'm betting that one will end up in the market.
Yeah,
that's the Guernsey one.
It's a teaser for everybody else, for all the world.
Yeah, I did that with the other one. You know, got the Orbeck Central and downloaded it and everything. And then you can even save it out, but it doesn't get updated if you're not running the Orbecks and stuff, right?
Yeah, I keep mine separate
with a
add-on linker.
You know, it did come out in the marketplace, so I just got it there. It's easier. Let them update it. May not be as soon, but assumingly the updates will stop coming.
Well, yeah, but my thing is I've been filling in with, like payware stuff after Asobo does an area. I figure I don't want to buy it and then have Asobo just replace it.
Right.
Like New York, it's like, god damn it. Or what was it, DC?
Do you know if it's possible to fix terrain? Like, there's a bunch of places I went to when I was trying to revisit some places I've been to in real life that the lakes are not lakes. They're just like a texture of a lake with a bunch of trees.
Yeah.
Balance. I forgot
There's a... I'm trying to remember the guy's name. There's a whole YouTube series on how to muck with terrain and
Flying Thingston.
that's the guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thieston.
he's got it.
Sorry, what's it?
Flying Thieston.
Okay,
Thieston.
Cool. Yeah, I'll look him up.
For a few to pick some like cracks in runways at airports and stuff like that works well.
Yeah, there's another guy called Benny something. He's got some good tutorials as well.
I love Flying's accent though. I can barely understand it.
Oh, that's why.
Nice. It's President. I find it interesting to follow. He's smart though. He's got he does a really good job on the tutorial and walking you through it. But someone, Carbon, was it you who was telling me that they're going to update the whole developer mode thing so it's easier to do that?
They mentioned they were going to update each part a little at a time, like have some better GUI for scenery was the first one to come out. But
yeah, because it's pretty cryptic when you get into it. That's
I don't know what that means. I mean, I read it, but
well, it's like one of these things where do I want to invest a bunch of time in screwing with their broke-ass GUI, or should I wait until it becomes easier? I at least learn the basic terrain replacement stuff and get it easier.
I hope they make easier developer tools. It just seems a little bit convoluted at times right now. Like it's not. Once you learn it, it's not so bad. But for anybody trying to get into it, it can be a pretty big headache.
It's clunky.
I was just surprised that they had an SDK at all at this point.
Yeah.
It's
as long as they don't make massive changes all the time, because that's a huge pain.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it's like they should fix it and release it fixed, so that we're, instead of, tuning it here and there. But I bet you their focus right now is fixing the major crap that's happening. Although a lot less major crap than a few months ago, so it's working better.
Oh, for sure. They seem like they're invested in making it better, which is good. I feel like you're going to get your money's worth out of it.
Well, I already have. I mean, that's the way I looked at it. I have over 250 hours in now, or something like that. I don't get that out of any other game.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, Legend of Zelda back in the day might have had it on this, but World of Warcraft, yeah, that might have had it. Yeah. I think World of Warcraft I can measure in months.
I haven't even bought the game yet. I'm just playing it on Game Pass. I bought 1 month and I got 3 months free.
Oh, nice. That's all right.
Yeah, I'll probably buy the
deluxe.
Definitely worth buying.
I bought the middle pack, and I mean, considering the cost, I thought I could add to it for, just a little bit more. But
well, that's the keen thing, though, is if you need to upgrade, it's just the difference. It's not
no, it's not. Right now,
it isn't?
No, if you want to upgrade, you buy the whole thing again.
No way,
that's
really?
awful.
Yeah,
they had an upgrade pack.
They do. Look in the marketplace. It's $89.95.
Imps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably just buy the highest one.
I mean, that's kind of. I wished I had. I bought the middle one, thinking that would help me buy the add-on later on. But unless it comes down, I'm like, nah, I'm not paying another $90 just for the.
The Shock Ultra was a lot of fun, but it's broken right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Shock
about the
Ultras.
only one that I really like. I mean, there's a couple others that look fun.
One of the recent updates that came out, just you can overspeed in level flight, and it just critical damage.
Sounds like a good time.
And that might
At
be true to
215
life.
XCub, you can overspeed it.
Yeah, that might be
level.
true to life too. If it's an ultra stall, it's not. I mean, the wing just isn't designed or strong enough for high speed.
Yeah, maybe so.
Doesn't mean you don't have enough power to get there. It just, it's not designed.
It goes up and down like an elevator, though. It's just crazy. It's seriously, it's like you're sitting in an elevator.
Yeah.
Get yourself into a 15 knot headwind, and it's like you're barely moving forward. Laps down, just bimp. It's like you're slowing.
Well, the Microsoft servers are going down, so if you're in the game, don't exit. You won't get back in.
Yeah,
Oh, not really.
a lot of people are having problems with it.
Yeah, it looks like all the Xbox server stuff is down.
Where is that from? Reddit or?
It's on their stats pages.
Sorry, what did you say? The server is going down?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just intermittent outages right now.
So that
Yeah,
means that we will probably not be able to see each other, right? Yeah.
If you're in, you're okay.
Yeah, I just had a connection lost message, and then I clicked OK, and it came back.
Same thing.
So I just went back to the main menu, and the marketplace was loaded up.
Don't crash, boys.
Yeah, sorry. No pressure.
Ice for life.
Sounds like this might be a.
This is land in the water. It's only got a dirt strap.
Carp, did you say you modeled these after arrow sets?
Yeah, it's kind of a hybrid. But I went mostly off the arrow sets, but I also was looking at wood lines as well.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not entirely accurate, but
No, man,
and
good,
some of the
good job on
engineering as well. Like I had one model that had cables and everything, but they won't allow for non-uniform scaling in the sim. So if you try and scale a shape, it won't. In a non-uniform way, it won't do it. Anyway, I tried a whole bunch of different things, and I thought, you know what? I'll just put the cables on the inside.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I should not have backed out. Looks like I'm going to be SOL until it's back up. Good luck, boys.
You're done, are you?
Well,
Yeah, why?
until it lets me back in, at least.
Are they talking about on the forums or anything? Did you notice, or
Just if you can go to support.xbox.com, and it will give you all the various server statuses that they have for different games and features and stuff. And so
It's probably tens of thousands of people logging out and logging back in, thinking, "Where's my update? Where's my update?"
We're shit going full on Karen on the Microsoft staff right now.
Yeah.
You're ruining my life.
Do you guys know when the
customer
Xbox
support
version
desk?
of the game is supposed to come?
June.
Summertime? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm trying to build a PC for my friend, but hardware availability is really in the shit. So
If it,
You think an Xbox is actually going to be able to run this?
Yeah.
Only the
yeah, it'll
As long as
run.
they- But they're going to go to DirectX 12 and that, and they'll remove some of the bottlenecking. It's a good multi-thread piece of hardware.
Yeah, we're probably going to see some nice improvements once they do that.
Yeah, because the computer is going to be finally utilized.
Yeah.
But my daughter's hoping for it because her laptop won't run this. She wanted to do that. So I secretly stashed a HOTAS for her so it comes out.
nice.
It's only coming out on the newer Xboxes, isn't it?
What's that?
I think it's only coming out on the newer Xboxes, is that right?
Correct. I have to get a Series X by then.
Oh yeah, it won't run on the old one.
No. Not even the Xbox One X, which was pretty powerful.
I mean, it might run, but it'll look like potato.
I'd fly potato.
A flying potato?
Yeah, I'd fly one.
Just got a
Fuck, why not? You put an
Cartoonish.
engine on it, yeah.
a cartoonish image of you in like a state fair potato.
There's a donut on Flight Sim TO.
with
If
a
they
hat
put
on.
wings on the Oscar Mayer wiener wagon, I'd fly it.
Fired off a giant potato
You
gun.
had-
Boom.
My wiener. That's the first name.
Yeah.
That's quite
Get
the
a
strip
contract
there.
for Frito-Lay for it. Yeah. The brand ambassador for Ripple Chips. It's awesome.
Boys, kudos on all the paints, man. Like, geez, really good bunch of paints. They're excellent.
Yeah. I love the Red Devil one. That's my favorite so far.
Oh,
Being
the
a-
liveries, yeah.
Being a Canuck, I love the Canada one. It's
Yeah, it's a good one.
Nice gusty over here against this hill.
You get tossed around a little.
Yeah, I love it.
So that was something that, like in one of my failed ferry flights, I was impressed by, was going too close to a hill. The air just sucked me into it, smashed me into it. I was pretty impressed by that. Well, it's just like, the physics of it. Like, you're gonna kill me? Do it well.
Yeah.
No half measures here.
No, I was just like, I can't move. I cannot fight out of this, and it was just blank right into the thing. I'm like, yep.
nice mountain wave.
Yeah, and it was just over like, and I thought I was just going to scoot over this little island. It was a gnarly headwind of like 40 knots, and I thought, I'll just scoot over this island, because I was at a low altitude. I should have given it, very generous space. Is what I learned. Just slammed me right into it. I have to admit, the Greenland flight really teases out a lot of the physics.
Greenland's still got the crazy spikes in it.
Well, I used the Greenland. Some dude, like just as this Kodiak thing is, the Kodiak Islands. There's a pack for the Greenland that's out there that you can get that revamps the whole thing. So that fixed that.
500.
Yeah,
But
I
also
hope they get new
gave
satellite
nice
imagery for it eventually, because it was not so great when we were flying over it, but it was an awesome spot.
So when you went from
Loudly,
so you went from the airport on the southern tip to the one on the was it BGKK? Did you fly over, or did you fly around the horn of the bottom?
What did we end up doing?
we had horrendous ice on that, didn't we? We ended up going
but
to the south
went
trying
over
to
a bit.
find.
So I think we kind of we didn't go right along the shoreline the whole way. We kind of cut through one section, and then we were up the shoreline just to cut some miles off.
So that's what I was trying when I got slammed into the mountain. So I ended up, the flight I ended up taking, but it's all weather dependent, right? I ended up going up to 9,000 feet and over the top of the subcontinent. And the problem was, it as you were saying, it still looked a little bit flat. Like it just, for a mountainous area, it looked very flat.
Yeah.
But
Is this in the lagoon we're landing, or in the channel there?
Yeah, there is a lagoon. I'm gonna try the lagoon.
Yeah, the icing is a little bit suspect as well. Like, I was flying the Icon in Ecuador, and it was like clear blue skies, sunny, whatever, and I was climbing up to this crater that's at like 14,000 feet, and the airplane was icing up, and I'm like, it's clear and sunny. I'm not going to be getting ice.
And it ices up fast and heavy.
Fast and heavy, and then the other thing I noted is that it will ice up fast and heavy over when you're under -20 Celsius. So like around that point, especially like negative 30 Celsius, you shouldn't be accumulating any ice because ice clouds, they're just bouncing off you.
Right.
So I think that's the suspect stuff that I was running into, because I thought, hey, I could just fly high where it's really cold, and I'll be able to survive punching through a few clouds. No way, wouldn't allow it. So yeah, I'll submit a bug. I mean, it's just poor physics.
Yep.
The one thing I'll give the trips, though, is that it gets me reading a lot about like the actual event of doing it, and so I don't know, I've learned a lot of things I don't think I'd ever know unless I actually did it, even though it's the thing that you're reading.
That was a good landing.
I did it without the flaps this time, and it took forever to land.
I did it. I slowed down full flaps and just came in nice and, a little bit of power. Never idled all the way out. Eased it right down.
Bring yourself in, set yourself up at about minus 50, minus 100 over top of the water. Just add a little bit of power and just hold it.
Yeah.
And then just drop your power back a tiny little bit, and you'll grease the crap out of it every time.
And then with full flaps, or just 2 notches?
In my aircraft, I've 2 notches. But mine you can go 4 notches. And the later Cessnas, they had all kinds of accidents because of that, right? Way back in the day. Way too much flap.
Yeah, and the 206 amphib that I fly, I almost never landed with full flaps unless it was like a really tight spot. I usually use 20 degrees every.
Yeah, that's tons.
A little lip flap.
If you're in a tight spot and you want to take off, you take off, and then you can drop another flaps just as you get up on the step.
Yeah, the 206 is a real pain in the ass to fly. I'll tell you that. Getting off the water.
What engine's in that 206?
The one that I flew was a IO 550.
Okay. So 310.
Yeah, it was like 300, 310, but it was like, I don't know, just the amphib floats and everything. It was a real dog getting off the water. Like, I've had like over a mile long takeoff trying to get off.
Oh, wow. Jeez. A little bit underpowered.
Yeah. Luckily, it was like a 6 mile long lake.
Shit, if I'm not off the water in 8 seconds, I count 8 seconds. If I'm not off in 8, I'm like, well, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, the 206 is really, like, I've had situations where I've had to, like, didn't ditch anything, but it's like I had to move the CFG forward, so I would, like, get people to hold backpacks in their lap.
Yeah. Oh, it gets that critical. When we were down, I took my plane, I left Newfoundland and flew to Oshkosh in 2019. We took 2 Cessna 172s on straight floats down. And when we were leaving Oshkosh coming back, the morning we left from the float plane base, it was 95 degrees at 7 a.m. in the morning, humidity like crazy, and dead calm. And the other guy we were with, his floats were they were underfloated for the aircraft. So he really struggled with the heavy weight, the high temperature and the humidity of getting off the water. I actually had to take 150 pounds of his weight so he could get off.
Yeah, high heat, high humidity is pretty bad. I was dealing with that up in northern Alberta. Sometimes it was like one of the lakes was it was like 32 degrees Celsius when I was trying to leave there, and I was fully loaded and everything. It was like a really narrow lake but really long. Tried getting up on step, wouldn't happen, so I had to I was getting up on step into wind, but it was only like a slight wind, but it was just enough to help me get up on step, and then I was able to turn down lake. It was crazy. It wasn't fun, I'll tell you that.
Heavy and hot's not good.
Make sure you don't hit the orcas on this next one.
The
Yeah, we got some killer whales up here.
Oh, yeah? Really? Yeah.
Don't smoke them, eh? Okay.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So no
You don't wanna-
smoking, no smoking Willie, okay?
Definitely not. You got a free willy.
Yeah, move it.
Are they as well hidden as your giraffe?
No, these. Well, the last time I almost saw them, they were breached. So
Is that from the animal pack, or is that just in the game?
animal pack. Yeah, there's Kodiak bears, all sorts around here.
Watch your plane.
Any moose in the animal pack?
There's a deer with antlers, which is kind of like a moose.
Like a
Nothing like a moose.
like an anorexic moose.
Yes,
Yeah, I was
baby
going to say
one.
that's like saying a Volkswagen Bug is like a truck.
A deer is more like a rat with horns than it is like a.
You got a moose.
No joke.
And these Alaskan moose, they get big. These ones.
We're seeing
Yeah.
like moose
We
by
get
the side of
big
the route up in Ontario. That was,
We get big ones in Newfoundland, but nothing like what they get in Alaska.
I can only work with what I got.
Great trains. Crazy big.
yeah, I'm trying to think where was that? It was near
There's
Ottawa.
There's a grass strip above this one as well, above the cove, a short one.
Well, kudos to the scenery guy, man. Excellent job. So are you furloughed now, Carbon? Or are you still working? Or
No, I don't have my medical any longer.
oh,
I have an inner ear issue.
oh
which,
no. Well, we
causes
need those
chronic
as pilots.
dizziness. Yeah. So I won't be flying again, as far as I know. They haven't figured out.
Oh, it's
a
too bad.
solution
Sorry to
it,
hear that,
so-
man.
Yeah, and I've accepted it. It's been a while.
It's
At
hard.
least I got the sim. I can still kind of.
There you go.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got medical too, and it was no fun.
Yeah. They're. I mean, they have to be strict. There's no.
Yeah, I know.
See if I can reach this thing over here. Pictures. Like the Titanic. Oh.
All right, where's Willie?
Willie was on the approach. There's two of them.
Oh, really? I gotta go back and find him. I gotta get him on the live stream.
I didn't see any either when I. Maybe I landed in the wrong spot.
Are they just sitting on top of the surface, or do they come up and down?
They're not animated,
Okay, they're not animated.
but you're not going to miss them. Just posted it in screenshots.
Plastic orcas. So did they animate the flamingos or no? It sounded like
Yeah, I found the script that does it in developer mode, and I've put them into various scenes, but they don't actually work when you're flying in the sim. I suspect they're linked to a sort of latitude longitude type trigger, which is really annoying because I found all the grizzly bears and the elephants and the giraffes and Canadian geese.
Did you run those over?
It's like a modern art installation, Kev. I like it.
Yeah, it's quite pretty. There is a guy that's actually got them animated. What's his name?
Get them like chewing on a guy. Yeah. Get some sharks doing it.
Yeah, I'm simmed up to the Iceland overhaul. He's got animated orcas, a school of them.
Were the orcas to the north of this lodge or to the south?
North.
Well, we've seen the animated birds. One of the guys here in the Bush League Legends has a scenery with those, the world script.
Oh yeah. But like I said, I've tried the world scripts and I cannot get them to activate once you get into the flight mode.
I had it working before. I don't know, it may be broken now, but I mean, I did it just the same thing, tested, and I got bears and birds at my local airport adding a script, but then that was several updates ago.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. There's a few that's worth having. You know, like 500 Canadian geese going through your windscreen.
We're stressed here. Whoops.
I hit a tiny bird in my flare one time. It was a little.
That'll be shocking.
A little bit of guts on the underside of the wing, but other than that, it was.
I bet it woke you up.
Like
Nothing I could do. I was in a caravan. Once you're committed to land, you're landing.
A couple of my colleagues hit a seagull, and it pushed the DV window in a bit. It kind of minced itself as it came into the cockpit, bounced bulkhead wall behind one of the guys, and then hit him on the back of the head. So he gets this big splat in front of him, the window, wind noise, and then he reaches up and touches the back of his head, and it's all wet and pulls his hand down. Yeah, oh my god, it's gone through my head. Fortunately, it was just the blood and guts hitting him on the back. Yeah, I think that was a man.
That's all.
I used to fly in Florida. I was always worried I was going to hit some, those
turkey
crazy
vultures down there are
motherfuckers.
horrendous.
Florida, talk about hot and humid.
I was thinking earlier when you guys were talking about that, I've had situations where like my takeoff distance is double. Have to leave things.
Yeah,
behind.
totally.
Yeah. Because you're at 100 degrees and you Fahrenheit, and you're just not getting off the runway easy. So you can't have more than half tank.
Fly really early in the morning.
Yeah. Well, our problem is we flew down to Key West, and it was cool in the morning, but we didn't. It got hotter than forecasted. So
We used to fly. We used to fly whenever we go cross country, whenever we're flying anywhere, up into Quebec or wherever. We'll always fly early in the morning and in the evening, and then we just sit around on the dock in the afternoon. It's
a good plan.
Have a nice little nap on the dock, and then start flying again around 4 o'clock, and then get to where you're going, and then up before the sun and fly again.
Florida as flat of a state as it had one really challenging airport in Everglades City, south of Tampa, and it was like, the control tower was a cop car, right? Small. It was a small DC-3 strip that was actually built to fly FDR into. That's all it was, and so that he could have access to the Everglades. So the they since paved it, at least, but it's not a long runway. It's it's like, I want to say it's like 1,500 feet or something like that. Small aircraft get in there, no problem. But as you're approaching it, you're flying over these little teeny Everglade islands, so you get these thermal bursts, and it just tosses the airplane. So it's like you think you're having a nice relaxed approach, all of a sudden you're kicked sideways, or one wing up and the other wing down real hard. So so you're like fighting it to land the thing. And it was very challenging. My brother and I used to really enjoy going out there and getting better at landing by doing that airport.
Yeah, that sounds like
brutal. But the Everglades was fun to fly over. Like you could find manatee and other things like that to circle around. My flight instructor was a Audubon Society pilot, so he was really good at teaching me how to circle with do point turns with the wing and the manatees in the water. Yeah, it was. So for a flat state, it was pretty impressive. It was kind of we moved from Washington State to there, so it was quite a bit different terrain. I'm trying to catch up because I was afraid to go out to the main menu.
I just got a connection lost there, but it's still on screen.
Yeah, I figure if I don't repeat the landings, I'll catch up to you guys.
Straight over that top.
So weird flying with all the live weather out there.
Always turn back on and see
That was the 40 knot headwind. Like the last 3 days, I committed to doing that. That transit from Goose Bay to Iceland, and I'm like shell-shocked from all the bad weather.
It's about the worst time to cross.
You telling me? I was like learning. It was like I just determined 100% ice is the reality. Live with it, figure it out. But yeah. So that's another thing that was weird in the icing mechanics. It shouldn't have worked, but as soon as I would get into areas that had no, like the clouds were a little higher and I wasn't experiencing, the ice would slowly dissipate off the aircraft, but -7, it would never do that. It was entertaining.
It does actually.
It does? Okay, so they got
the ice starts to sublimate.
In the real world, it does. I don't know if the sim does it a little bit, but if the conditions aren't quite right, then it will just stay on for what seems like forever.
Okay, that's what I thought he was saying, that the ice was going away when it was clear.
Yeah, it was. So what would happen is, I was flying at like 500 feet above the deck, right? And as soon as I clear the cloud formations, it would take about 30 minutes to completely dissipate from 100%.
Okay.
Zero.
Yeah.
It would do it though. So you're saying that's normal. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah, the ice does slowly sublimate even in freezing temperatures.
Yeah, just like laundry will dry in freezing cold.
So it's just the dry air
Yeah.
takes it. Okay. Yeah, with flogging the aircraft for all it was got at 100% ice, it was like holding, I think it was 80 knots or something like that. It was cracking me up. So I was actually thinking it's not going to make it because the fuel's going to run out before I even land. But because with a 40 knot headwind and 80 knots, you're only going 40 knots ground speed. So, but once I got into the clear areas and the ice dropped off, I was able to make up the time.
So how far have you made it so far? Across, or did you make it across to Iceland?
Iceland now, and I'm going to run your flight plans in Iceland because why not tour it, right? And
it's so great there. Yeah.
But for the other, I didn't go completely to Goose Bay. I went to something on the southern edge of I flew out of the St. Lawrence, like the very opening of the St. Lawrence over the Labrador Sea to BGB. Was it BGBW?
Narsiswak, yeah.
Narsiswak. So I went to Narsiswak. I tried a direct Narsiswak to Iceland, but that was a no-go.
Right.
And then
it would be a long one.
Well, so that was the first attempt, and then I figured, the what is it? The other one, the one up
Keflavik.
Keflavik, not Keflavik, not Iceland. It's on Greenland. It's about as north as Keflavik, but it's on Greenland. I'm trying to think.
Kulisuk, I think.
Yeah, Kulisuk.
Yeah.
Now, what was interesting is I did the landing with the mods on, right, with the Iceland mod on, and then I went and found some video of a guy actually landing there, and it looked pretty good. Like, I was impressed with the recreation of the dirt strip and all that other stuff, or the gravel strip. So then I did that, and then I flew direct from there to. I didn't go to Keflavik, but I went to Reykjavik airport.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where you guys. Like, I'm trying to where I can. Weather did not allow me to fly around Nova Scotia. It was an impossibility.
Oh yeah. Did you were going by when the snowstorm was going on? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I'd just been running live weather, live time, and so it was just like it was in the middle of a cyclone. There was no way I was going to do anything. So
it hasn't gotten under. I think it hasn't gotten under 80 km/h winds since Tuesday here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to cross the Gulf of Maine, and that thing just seemed to be God just would swat the plane out of the air. Like, and this isn't happening.
Did you make it out to Matinicus Island off of Maine?
No, I ended up cutting directly north to Septile. I think it's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Septile, yes, sir.
And was flying. So I did a straight shot from just the airport near the Maine border up there, or no, Cape Cod. It was the Cape Cod airport you had. I just shot straight up to that.
Yeah, once you get some good weather to go around Iceland, the northern part of it is pretty incredible. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I figured, it was just about the challenge this time, but what I want to do is go through and redo all those legs with partly cloudy, just to see the rain.
Yeah.
In June, right?
See the apple orchards in bloom and stuff.
Yeah. See if I can spot Charlize Theron. That'd be good. So, yeah, no, it was. But the challenge of it was pretty fun. I was stuck in a lot of conference calls this week, so it entertained me.
Is everybody at this
yeah.
Zacron Bay?
Yeah. Zachar. We're in the bay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have to edit so I've been recording all the flights too, so I need to edit them and make a montage. Because no one's going to watch you cross that much water.
You'd be surprised.
I don't watch it myself. I turn the sim up to like as high as it goes when I'm going.
I was just really curious about how the sim was going to handle the ice and other things like that. So it's really interesting to watch that.
Pushback works in the water.
Yeah, get you off the sandbars too.
I wonder if it'll work as a brake.
You do it right.
I love how you can like drift this airplane on the water.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, I know.
I just like power up and I'm just like drift turning all over the place. I'm like, yeah, this is not a supercar. This is a.
And you'd cause some problems. You did that with the real thing.
Yeah, I'd flip over pretty.
You'd be talking to your insurance man. Yeah, Aopa, I flipped it. So, Carbon, of all the Bush League Legend flights, which one was the most challenging that you guys encountered?
Well, I'm sure some of the guys on here can answer that. Most challenging. That is a good question.
What about the sandstorm one? Zero visibility down to the ground.
Is that the one we were? I might have been in for that one.
Oh, was that, Morocco?
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, it was out there somewhere. Yeah.
It was Morocco where we ended up. It was the beginning of it was like all sandstorm, and then we ended up flying to the coast and south of the coast, and it was clear. It was,
oh, yeah, okay, yeah. And I almost remember flying into the very first day we were in bad weather, and then the flying past Maine, going up to Tenicus. I think it was foggy that day. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, probably that storm was in Morocco was probably the worst of it so far, just visibility wise.
Getting to Gap View in the winter was hard.
Oh yeah.
So I was able to fly to the airport that was outside of Pittsburgh. I did that as I cut it into two legs, the day two. But the crossing Appalachia was a pain, and then landing at Gap View with it had a 40 knot headwind. I had to hover it down.
Ooh. That's fun.
It was really cool. I'm glad I recorded it, but it was just like the and then I had the same kind of effect when flying into Narsaqua with the like where I touched down with like 0 ground speed. It was really wild. and then when I after I had touched down and I engaged the parking brake for a second, the aircraft just wouldn't rest the tail. It was just sitting there with the tail flapping in the wind. It was fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Probably spinning the whole time.
Yeah, it was all going on. I was like, this is a riot. So, in order to taxi to the, because I've been kind of following the rule of taxi to parking once I land, and the kind of the victory lap, if you will, and for that I had to trim the aircraft so that I could keep the tail on the ground. Cracked me up. But yeah, Pine or Gap View was challenging with the land.
Well, I'm out. Y'all have a good rest of y'all's flight.
Thank you.
Take care. Same here. I'm gone. Nice flying with you guys. We'll see you.
Yeah, you too, man. Have a good night.
You done?
Just having my crazy schedule at work allows me to rejoin you guys. For the last 2 months, I've been having to get up at 5 a.m. So, yeah.
Oh, that's way too.
Unshift is what I call it. I made hats for us that say "Butt Cracker Nom Team." It's 2 mountains with a sun rising between it.
I don't even usually go to sleep until like 3.
Oh, really? I can't do that anymore. I pay for it the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's 2:15 in the morning there.
Is it?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. My last one.
Thanks for joining in, guys.
That's most are done with the floats. It's good.
Fun to beta test. Well, because sometimes you get some really interesting bugs that make it fun too.
I think so far it's been working pretty well for everybody, so I just have to work on that taxiing issue.
Well, your mods have been by far my favorite in the game so far.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Just need to
I
work
think you
on
should
not
leave
trying
the
to
super.
press on land.
What's that?
Just need to work on not trying to press the toe brakes when I land. They're kind of pointless.
I've probably got the brakes tuned up a little bit too high.
No, sorry, I mentioned the floats.
Reminds me, I got these this cool thing I haven't assembled yet. JPN is the company that makes it, but it's a metal mount that hooks to your rolling chair, like you put your 2 of the casters in the front of it, and it holds your rudders at, up off the ground.
Oh, really?
And gives you a very specific distance, so that they're always in the same place.
So it attaches to your chair?
Well, not firmly. You just rest your casters like there's a tray on the front of it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Where you just dock your casters into, and then and then when you're not using it, you can back the casters off, and then it folds up and goes under your desk.
Huh.
Cool.
I've never seen that before. That's kind of cool.
Well, I was unaware of it until I and this I did build today, and it worked well because they all kind of came as a kit. They're clamps for my HOTAS to clamp onto the desk to hold my the stick right in front of me, and the throttle off to the side in the same configuration as the Cub, right? And the clamps work perfectly. They disengage like just with a flick of a switch, but when you have them attached, they're attached with like 20 newtons of force. They don't move, and they're full metal aluminum clamps. They're fully adjustable. You can mount all sorts of joystick on them. I thought, I don't know, it's a really good concept this guy came up with for adapting people with rolling chairs, which most of us have, right?
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
And so that the desk is.
Remember the company name at all?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat. Which when should I throw it in?
Oh, anyone.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll find it.
I'll just put it in general. Okay, let me find it. Yeah, I mean I thought $60. I'll give it a shot, right? Yes, it's JPN gear. It's a Korean manufacturer.
Oh, okay.
They do stuff for racing simulators too. I think that's their main business, but they got into the flight sim stuff. All right, check it out. It's there. I just liked it because it I like flying with a stick and select the yoke. Controls weren't my thing, but I couldn't find like good mounts, and then I ran into this guy. I think it's just off on some odd forum. I don't remember where specifically.
Well, it makes a lot of stuff, eh?
Yeah, isn't it cool though? Like but you see the clamp where he's put MFDs on them too, but so it's designed so that you can slide and put whatever you want in place. But seriously, they remove with like a flick of your finger on the back switch. It pops right off your desk. So if you're like me who uses the desk for a home office and then needs to fly sim by night, that's the perfect way to do it.
Right, time to leave you guys. I'm gonna get some bed. Enjoy your trip.
All right. Thanks for joining us. See you again soon.
I'm sure you will.
So if you, on the PN gear mount thing, if you look, there's the ones that are the upgraded versions of the clamps. Those are the ones I got, and then you'll see the one for any type of pedal system that is, it's the lift up version. So there's one that's flat to the ground. So if you like the angle of your, whatever your roto pedals are, that's the one you'd use. But for what I wanted one that lifted it up a little bit, put it up in front of me, and so I got the one that has the riser on it. I think it's like 100 versus.
Okay, there's F10 and N's pedal mount. Those are the two ices.
And if I keep going down, I believe it's the F. It's PN's pedal mount. That one, the $80. And so that, isn't it? And then he also makes things for universal chairs, so you can actually put a keyboard mount on your, just by unscrewing the base of your chair from the. I mean, the guy's smart as hell. What he's come up with, and so it comes to you like an erector set. I just warned you, right? It's just obviously he, but because I think the idea there is he can pack it so tight that shipping it in large containers, you can put a lot of units in it. But so it's a little bit of fiddly, putting it together. But once and I kind of had my doubts when I saw that. I was like, oh crap, this thing's loosey goosey, right? No, once you got it all tightened down, he over like on the joints or the where he over bolted, so everything has two bolts, so nothing sways. It's incredibly solid once you get it built. And for 60, it's like you can find them on Amazon for a little cheaper, so don't buy them through him.
Okay.
That's something else I found. It was like save $30 if you go to Amazon. But yeah, but you see how on the PN's pedal mount you can see how it flipped up. That's what it is.
So I like that.
Yeah, slick.
Worked well.
I think my desk would break before I could remove the mount from it once it's clamped. That's what I determined today. I could hear the wood fiber go. I tried moving it.
My gosh, he's got a whole sim setup here: TV mount, racing chair, keyboard tray. Oh, man.
That and the shaker woofer set. You could feel the engine in your ass. Look at that.
What was that called?
You can check the general chat. I put the link to the website.
Oh, okay. I'll look at it up.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate name because it could be called JP. If you look at it right. It's the Peen gear mount. And I could mount the stick to the center and say, look, Mom, my Peen. All right, enough of that. So But yeah. Did you see his racing setups? Those are the cool ones. You set up like a whole NASCAR arcade with that, or F1 or whatever.
Prices aren't too crazy.
Not given what people are gouging for sim stuff right now. But I mean, and I have to say that the seat shaker, like his full set there is cheaper than any other seat shaker I know on the market. So you can get the woofer and the amplifier for under 200. Like I think it's 180 for the set. And if you were to go get that from a home, because I just happened to have installed a bunch of home theater seats from a company that makes them for movie theaters. Theirs they want 400 to 500 a piece for those sets. So this guy, I'm going to buy those and install them in my home theater.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So but I mean, my opinion of the piece though is that it is. I mean, he built them so that like even a bigger guy like me can abuse the crap out of them in their mind. I hope he's doing good money because that's just damn good engineering. Now I just need my HOTAS to arrive that I ordered 2 months ago.
What one did you get?
Well, I opted for the 1600M Thrustmaster HOTAS, so because I have the rotor pedal to go with it. I currently have the Thrustmaster E-Flight, which is great, other than it has a tethered, like the HOTAS is tethered to the stick by about a 2 feet of cord. Oh. It's just half a centimeter too narrow to fit my keyboard between. It drives me nuts.
I've got the T16000. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard good reviews. Can you adjust the tension on the stick, or is it just set?
You can. The only thing right now that I need to deal with is I really like the sliding throttle. Like, it's good, but it catches a lot. So you need to kind of take it apart and put some good grease in there or something. I have yet to.
So just put some Teflon grease in there.
Yeah, something like that. I tried using some aerosol spray silicone lubricant in there on the rails, and it didn't. It seemed like it worked for a little bit, but it was it was really light liquid, so it kind of just dissipated really.
Yeah.
But I've seen other people online putting some thicker greases in there, and they say it helps a lot. There's even a guy who made some kind of mod for it. He made these little sliders to put in there to replace the stock ones, but I can't find that anymore. He is one of those little one-off.
Yeah, I have for an elliptical. I have like a grease that goes on the rails for that. Maybe I'll try that. Like
Yeah, that might work. Yeah, I still have to it's still usable even without doing that. It's just I have to kind of move it in a certain way to avoid it from sort of catching and being a little jerk.
All right, I'll look out for it. So I did see another guy had modded his to put a detent in it by using a magnet.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. I haven't done that myself. I don't personally feel like I need that.
Yeah, well, for the flight sim, I don't think it's necessary, but for certain other games, it'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I play Elite Dangerous as well, and I don't know. I don't really have a
an idling problem. Yeah, I play like Squadrons, and that shouldn't have any issue with it because that only has forward movement. So.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is I actually prefer to play Elite Dangerous with 2 sticks in my pedals instead of a throttle. So I usually set it up that way.
So do you have the two? So you have the double 1600 set as well.
I actually have a Logitech
for the second.
Elite Pro, whatever, for the right hand. So I'm using my Logitech right now as the joystick with the T16000, just because I have the T16000 stick set up to be left-handed.
Oh, I see. Okay. And then it's like is it the Logitech 3D Pro thing? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, the super old one.
Yeah. Works well though. Those are nice.
Yeah, it is good. It has more buttons than the Thrustmaster, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, the Thrustmaster looks like it's really meant to be paired with that HOTAS.
Yeah, actually, the Thrustmaster does have more buttons, like on the base of the stick, but the Logitech has a lot more up on the top, which I like.
Well, yeah, because otherwise because it looks like the ones that are on the base are to be operated by the other hand with a thumb on the throttle.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I don't really use the base buttons on the Logitech all that much. I have them set up for like some menu stuff or something, but other than that, I try to avoid it.
The one thing I'll give the T-Flight version of the Thrustmaster is that they really did do a really good job of placing the buttons. Like, it's not limited there. If it wasn't for that damn tether, I don't think I would have bought another one. I think that tether is stupid.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting that when I was struggling to find the hardware, but even those were like way overpriced. They were like super overpriced. I'm like, what the hell? I'm not paying like $180 Canadian for that thing. Like, it's crazy.
I think I only paid $80. I found one supplier who was unaware that the flight sim blight had happened.
Yeah. I actually got really lucky with the T16000 because I was looking for it for months, and I kind of had my eye set on it that was the one that I wanted to buy. And just so happened, I went to look on Newegg, and they had an open box one on there randomly. I'm like, oh shit, they got an open box one on here, and it was like $70 off retail price, and I just risked it and got it, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's perfect.
Yeah, I went to Newegg, and I think I'm paying $300 for the damn thing, which is
$300 US or
US. Yes.
I ended up.
Oh wow! Yeah. Okay.
That's
What's that?
I was just thinking,
I ended up
did you not
on the grass? Now my frame rates are just garbage.
You got the gremlins.
Yep.
What airport are you guys to now?
PALB, I think, because I landed there and I'm just airborne again. Larson.
I left there already. I think I went the wrong way. I'm like up in the mountains, just following this direct track.
Yeah, I'm just flying it out. I should probably just slow in. Look at that. I got my mind set in that, try to run it as realistic as possible mode from the other day, and I keep forgetting that you can just slew, get it done.
Speaking of slew, I wonder if that'll fix the frames. Let me try it.
No, I hadn't even thought of that.
Nope. Oh man. Let's see what GPU is doing. It's down to 72%.
Can you kick it over into development mode and fix it, or?
Yeah, I guess I probably could. Try that. Resync. Beauty. Back in business.
Is it the command just resync, or?
When you go into developer mode, you check to see if the aircraft. It's an aircraft editor menu is highlighted, or is available to select. If you can select it, you select that, and then you go under File and Resync. If it's not available, there's a bit of a few steps you have to go through. So you have to create a new project, and then you have to add an item to it, like a BGL, and then you can open up the aircraft menu and resync it. It's not
it's a bit of a hokey pokey there, yeah.
Yeah.
So I did find my notes on the icing. So I had one question for you. Did you, by chance, nerf the pitot tube icing on the? Because I never had that happen. Yeah.
The automatic. Or sorry, you'll have to.
Oh, did
say that.
did you add pitot heat?
So there, yes, it's through the G3X mod that Working Title is doing.
That's where it added that? Okay.
Well, the way he has it set in theirs is if it's below or 7 degrees or below, it's supposed to automatically come on. That hasn't been working. So I do have it activated in the plane. So you I forget if it's like Control P. I forget, or Control H maybe, or Shift H. There's a key command for it. Unless, like for myself, I've got the honeycomb, so I've got it mapped to a switch on there.
So it's not visible in the cockpit anywhere. It's just
no. Okay. I hope at some point, that's my kind of long-term plan, is to try and get everything in the interior view fixed up. Because I'd like to put in, like a gear switch and the pitot heat and all that sort of stuff. But it'll be a while yet before that happens. So it's all
no worries.
Yeah.
I was just wondering because it seemed odd that the pitot would. So it must be automatically on by default because I never had a pitot icing from what I expected. No, I was just wondering.
Have you got the 3DX mod installed?
I do.
You do, okay. So typically when it gets below 7 degrees, it should. I think it flashes pitot heat.
It does. Okay, so that's what's happening.
Yeah, so eventually when it preheats, though, it should extinguish that. So if you use a keyboard command and actually force it to turn on, that the preheating mode will eventually disappear off the screen. I'm not sure if it does that currently with G3X doing it automatically. At one point, it wasn't turning off; it would just stay there and flash.
No, it turns off.
Oh, does
so
it?
You must have fixed that.
Okay, that's good.
I have to go out and see if there's an update that I haven't looked recently.
They haven't done anything with it in quite a while. It's on Dev 5 now.
Yeah, that's it. Like it's so hard to keep up with all the. It's like I almost get to the point is if it's good enough, I don't check very often.
Yeah.
Like in the G3X mod, the other thing is like if you do a new direct to the magenta line, is it right? I mean, it's weird. The magenta line's right on my heading indicator, but not on the map. That's no weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's good. It's weird bugs. Hopefully they'll get to it. There's really a lot of cool stuff that you can do with the real thing that isn't on here. So hopefully, the Chaos Spear, the guy who did the work on it, he's a smart guy. He's made a lot more happen in a short period of time than I probably could have in months. So hopefully he'll get some.
What's G3X?
The Garmin. That's the model in the XCub is the G3X.
It's the glass screen
Oh.
you're looking
Like the
at
touch
there.
screen version. Yeah.
Everybody went a different direction. Easy. Following easy.
Good luck.
I'm at this like.
Man,
I'm
I
at this
figure you
like.
know where the adventure's at.
You fool.
There's grizzly bears.
Well,
They
actually,
just want a hug. They just want a hug.
I'm within sight, I guess. Yeah, I'm within sight here somewhere.
I can see you. No, I just thought, man, he's taking the road less traveled. I gotta go with him.
He looks lost.
Look at, yeah. No, actually, you're following the nav line. So
I was just weeding my way through there. I don't know if I'm actually where I'm supposed to be.
no, great. There's Greek. We're there.
There's the. Is that the scenery right there? That building? Yeah, I think we just passed the actual scenery.
I don't know, but there's grizzly bears right where I'm.
Oh, is that where you're at?
Karlik.
Damage my flaps. Oops. Working.
Yeah, I find this this thing really. You really gotta bring the power rate back for this thing to get into the flap range on descent.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like that in real life, but I'm like the first time I flew this plane in the sim, I was like, what the hell? I gotta go down to like 8 inches in manifold pressure to try to slow this thing down. Like what?
Yeah, I tried to get information from Cub Crafters. Like I asked them if they had any information they could provide, and they shut it down. They're like, no. They're very protective. They say basically if you own the airplane, you can get a copy of the POH. That's it.
Really? That's interesting.
Yep. They say there's proprietary information in it that they don't want just anybody getting hold of. So they said, yeah. They shut it down.
Well, I mean,
find that rogue guy who PDF'd it.
It was actually the president of the company that responded to me on the forums. Because I was asking about, just explaining that it was for Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator, but just trying to make some improvements to it. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of too bad. So
Well, that's crazy.
yeah, I kind of have to go off a little bit off of what I can figure out about the engine, a little bit about how the other aircraft perform, and like finding videos where they have screenshots of the engine instruments in flight. Like it's just kind of pieces up and putting it together. Hopefully, it's close enough.
Like a Russian spy. That's awesome. Soon you'll have us sneaking into the factory. Hey, what are you guys doing?
Okay,
Flop to a bar, get him.
Who's got the Cub Crafter's hat? We're gonna need one of those.
Gonna need to hire some ladies of the night to distract them while we. That and also get pictures, incriminating pictures, so we can blackmail them if our spying fails.
Let's just plan on that to start with.
Yeah.
I just wish I could convince them, like if I signed an NDA or something like that, just so I could get a
here's
copy.
a windsock. I wasn't anywhere near the airport.
How do we get up and around here?
I don't know. I'm just yellow.
At least they're lodged up and not, forced down. It'd be kind of hard to fly the plane. me speed with the left.
I must have missed. I think I missed a way.
What the hell?
Oh, your heading line. It's all screwy.
It just fixed itself.
It's a waypoint close enough. It'll update. Yeah, I can't wait to fly Iceland with that Iceland overhaul pack on. It's gonna be fun.
Hopefully it gets good weather for it.
Yeah, if not, I'll force it. Since now it's about scenery, not the challenge, you know.
Yeah. There's some
Yeah, you guys.
sorry, go ahead.
Greek.
Oh, yeah, you guys are always talking about like flying with the real weather and stuff, and I almost never am flying with real weather because usually in the sim at in the evening, and I'm usually bombing around Canada, and I don't want to be flying at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can do. Well, and that's the odd thing is if you're doing live weather with the altered time, it gives you the weather for the morning and the afternoon. So it really kind of defies the natural weather of the area when you do that. I think the only benefit you get from that is the. So that would be cool if somebody could come out with a mod that had historical weather in it, right? But I can't imagine the data that would be required to store that, right? You know, for the way the sim.
I think they probably could for like METARs would be easy to store, but then if you get into like upper winds and all that sort of stuff, that can get a little.
Yeah, but from what I understand, the AI, right, is operating off the METARs solely from what I got out of the video. So I think if they just recorded the METARs, and then they can figure out the rest. Like the rest of it's, you know, fuzzy, right? Like they're filling in the gaps.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, but in this game, instead of just filling in the gaps, you usually, like Unreal does that. It basically just creates random weather. In fact, it'll do it for separate players, different. And
yeah,
you know, but the METAR is all accurate. Right.
Yeah, I tried using the Unreal weather, and I didn't like the way that, like, I couldn't get any idea of, you know, what was ahead in a storm because it made the next rad look homogeneous would be the term for it. Yeah, it just looked like whatever your immediate weather was. You couldn't, like, when I was doing the Iceland flight to Reykjavik, I could at least see that, you know, I was going to hit better weather if I kept on the course that I was on and things like that. So, yeah. And I was able to fly around some of the worst of it.
500.
That was a fun challenge. I love this game. It just creates, or I love the sim because it creates games where, you know, you're just finding a challenge to do. I like that.
What were you flying for?
The XCub 215, with a cargo, like a belly cargo pack for the, you know, the ferry tank. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was nuts. There's no way you do that in real life.
How did you even do that?
So the sim, so, you know, of course I'm playing, you know, by its rules, allowed me to fly with 100% ice. It was slow moving, but as I hit the, you know, that's what I was talking about when I hit the, you know, the more open, non-cloudy areas, it would, the ice would fall off the plane, and it just made it.
Oh, I see. Okay, but like, where did you go? Like up around Alaska or whatever to get up there? Like, I'm just thinking, like, fuel-wise, how do you do that in a...
The extended tank that is in there brings you, I think it gives you about like an 800 nautical mile range, about. So you're, you know, which is typically what I guess a regular ferry flight would require. But so it flew up. So the route I took was go north from Cape Cod to Septiel, to out to. The names start getting hard at that point, but like I think it's like Narsaqua or something like that, and then
Narsaqua, Greenland.
So it's like Narsaqua was the target, but I had to fly out the St. Lawrence. I hit one of the airports just before the end of the St. Lawrence to do that, and then then the other one, the Karseluk or whatever, on the other side of Greenland, and then over to Reykjavik. And, so I studied. So I looked at the routes that Bush League flew, but because of the weather, I had to make some other decisions. But that's where I ended up studying what real ferry pilots would do, right? What route would they take? And that's where I ended up with. But if weather had been better, I would have gone through Goose Bay, because that's the traditional ferry along the points.
Oh, okay.
That's the worst of the. But if I think about it, that's the worst of the legs, though, is the Goose Bay to Narsaq or whatever the hell it is. But Narsaqua, because that's like
just call it narcissist. Get it over with.
Yeah, I know, right? So I'm just an American. But basically that I think was somewhere near 700. It's like nautical miles, so that's the really tricky one. And I was watching the videos, and I guess there's because of an author who wrote a book about being a ferry pilot or early aviation ferry pilot with BT-3s. Okay. I crashed into the water, and there was no way I didn't ask over tea kettle. So something weird happened there. Like everything was normal, and it just crashed.
And it just crashed. Oh,
yeah. Okay. So
what did it say anything on the screen there? Like what if it
crashed into water?
Crashed into water.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't
water.
have your gear down by chance, did you? Because I think it'll do that if the gear is
checking gear.
No, I was landed in I porpoised slightly, so it wasn't the first impact. It was just scooting along. It must probably hit a terrain glitch, to be honest. But
yeah, you probably.
You know what I'm talking about. There's like occasionally there's like little shells that you can hit.
Yeah. I was taxiing down one of the lakes near Banff, and there was like a cliff in the lake that I couldn't see because I was on the top side of it. And I was just taxiing along, and then all of a sudden there was like a 20-foot drop in the lake, and it was like, oh, you crashed. I'm like, okay, game. Physics don't work like.
You bastards. You killed Kenny. Let's see. Oh, man. I gotta see if I can find you guys here. So were you... We gotta check the headings. Were you mostly north of where we were?
We're at Olga Bay.
I see it. I can spot easy. And I was slowing it over. Yeah, I had a thing where I was just doing some stall stuff and landed on top of a mountain, and it like I couldn't figure out what I hit. It was like all of a sudden I couldn't taxi anymore, and it was like a shell, like between one of the scenery tiles. So my wheels stuck in.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's like a division between the tiles, and it's like a few feet high, sort of thing.
Yeah. Also, the thing just stopped abruptly. Like, what the hell? The key to go down. There it is.
What's the neon lights in the trees there? Is that something?
I guess this is the last night, yeah?
Yep. At least my flaps are fixed.
Right?
Rat bastard came up for air and whack! That would be awesome if the game said that. You crashed into an orca.
Yeah.
Instead of like, crash just a game.
Peter will be in touch.
You whale murderer, you bastard.
What, getting your AOPA insurance now, bastard. Yeah.
Maybe next time don't stream it live.
I get canceled on social media and I'm like, it was just a stem! It's in your heart. Yep. That's when I'd officially start my Bomb the Whales campaign.
Oh, I'm directly below.
Where you at?
I'm directly below somebody. I'm gonna climb up into you. Oh no, now.
How the planes just disappear as you start to interact with them.
Yeah.
See the griefing that would start if you could hit each other. Like there'd just be those two of them that got bored, and they're just like, "F it, I'm gonna kamikaze everything in sight."
Just start dive bombing people, ending people's game.
Well, it's gonna be the guys who show up for the general aviation group flights with A320s. Those are the ones who are gonna grief it. I swear to God.
You guys ever see that guy? I'm trying to remember his YouTube channel, but he would often just like role play as the ATC in like multiplayer games of Flight Simulator X.
Air Force Proud 95, is that the guy?
Yeah, that guy. Oh my god, some of his videos are so hilarious.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, those are funny.
It's like, who's this guy in the 747 doing a barrel roll over the air?
For the one,
I did not give you clearance to do.
Let you go on this thing. Oh, this is glassy.
Starting to get dark for me. This is going to be a race to the finish. Oh, the last one is an actual strip, isn't it? So we should...
Yeah, maybe this time I'll remember to put my gear down.
There is something I want to implement once I get things worked out. There's a system you can get for Aeroset floats. Anyway, it's like a laser terrain sensing system, so it can tell whether or not it's over terrain or water. And if you're at 50 feet, down as low as 50 feet, it'll start screaming at you if you're over water and don't have your, or sorry, and have your gear down, or if you're over land and don't have your gear down. But I'd like to implement something like that.
Thinking of a YouTube I saw with two guys landing, and it was obvious the alert warnings going off. You just, you know.
500.
Yeah, it would be pretty easy if you didn't do your checklist. It would be very easy to forget when you're transitioning between
racket. You'd think they would notice.
Yeah.
that noise is there in case you're that guy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They were that, and it was two of them that were that guy. It's like I could get one guy doing it, but so that Everglades City airport that I was talking about, I did see somebody belly land a 182 RG.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he again missed it on the checklist, and he just. So we had just left the field, and we were walking through this it's like a little clearing through this wall of trees, right, to a place where you can get shrimp, and all we heard behind us was this screeching sound, like it was just ungodly, like noise, and and we were like, about 20 feet off the end of the runway. The end of the runway, somebody smartly put a bunch of coral rock boulders so that you couldn't, so you wouldn't end up in the drink if you overshot, right?
Right. Yeah.
But they just went smashing into it. I mean, they must have hit it at about 40 knots. It was bad.
Ouch.
Yeah. No one was injured though. We helped them out, of their plane, but because we were the closest thing, right? That and the cop car that was, directing traffic. But we helped them out. They were just shook up. All their restraints worked. Everybody was at least buckled in, right? And they were. One guy was tasting metal. He said that was it.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
There's I really like the landing system in the 206 that I was flying. It has like this voice, so if you have your once you're below 80 knots, it tells you what your landing gear position.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, when your landing gear is down, there's this like real gruff. What's that guy's name? His name's escaping me, but real gruff, like Western guy sounding like your gear is down for. Yeah, it's like your gear's down for runway landing, and then if your gear's up, it's like this lady that's like, gear is up for water land. So every time I'm coming into land, I hear that voice, and then I'm just like, I don't know, I'm kind of weird, so I just like treated it like a real person. And I'm just like, oh, thanks.
I should maybe I should implement something like that, because that would be easier.
Sam Kinison, the guy though.
What's that?
You have to make Sam Kinison one of the voices. Your gear is down.
It was a little annoying sometimes when you're like in those sort of approach situations where your airspeed might fluctuate quite a bit, because then it would like keep triggering and keep triggering.
I have no indicator. How do I tell if my gear is down?
In this thing, you can't. You can go to the external cam. You can go to the external cam.
Go to if you bring your power lever to idle, you'll get an indication, a scope advisory showing your selected route.
I can hear it. Yeah, I do see it. Okay.
So it's not as in your face as it should be, but it's temporary, right?
No, I was just trying to figure out if there's a way for me to determine whether this was gonna get ugly or not. Well, what would be cool though is if it got sparky.
Well, I guess probably with the new effects engine, once that's done, we might just get sparks.
So sparks, be awesome. And the word shame blinking above your nameplate. I think you need to implement a livery hat that's like, I know you got the I crashed one, but you just need a shame one too. Oh, I see what you're saying. I hit the grass and it got choppy.
Oh yeah, it kills the frame. It's so weird.
Wonder what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, same for me in VR. It just got real.
Yeah. Oh, it was a good flight. Thanks, guys.
Oh, thanks for
yeah, that was awesome.
And thanks for all your work on these. I mean, I'm sure I'm just part of the chorus of Falcon. I really appreciate the work on these aircraft. It's made the game like a lot better.
I'm glad everybody's liking it. So it's nice to hear because it takes a lot of hours. But ooh, man, did I just landed with my gear?
I'm glad you did.
Is it allowing you to skid it out, or did it crash?
Off on the runway, and I'm like, oh, it's not interesting.
Now I feel better.
I guess I'm staying here for the night.
Sam Kinniston. Oh, okay. Here, this is something to pay attention to. So I turned off. Let me see if I can share. Let's see if we can see it. Let me share screen. All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Hey, no, the aircraft is bobbing as though it's on the water on Andreas. I don't know if that plate gives you a clue.
I guess they're pretty light. So each contact point, you can give it a kind of a suspension. So I've been playing around with them, and yeah, it does kind of bobs back.
Guys, well, that was a blast. That was fun flying a float. Y'all have a good evening. I'm gonna head out.